Well, hello, this is Rochelle, and thank you for joining me here on the Creative Retreat YouTube channel. For today, I would love to recreate this backing on the devotional for this month, and I have decided on using the Deep Burgandy by DecoArt Americana. It is an acrylic paint, so I'm going to be using that. If you don't know about which devotional I'm talking about, it is The Vine, and it is a devotion written by Jessica Drews. And as usual, Creative Retreat is just on another level when it comes to their devotions, just because it really does kind of take you on from the point go, and not in a condemning way, but really in us being able to confront where we're at and where we're going. So I'm just using a flat brush. I washed or put some washi down to mask off an area that I want to keep white. And I'm just using a flat brush, applying this color on the page as is. So no blending or anything like that, just the straight color onto the page. So really not rocket science. But this is why I love the Creative Retreat devotions and even the printables. It is focusing and pointing to the word all the time. It's not emphasis on all the newest, all the latest, all the greatest, must have, all the things. The things are nice, but they're not necessary. What's necessary, and this is what we read in this devotion, is that we stay connected, that we keep on being a part of or being in the vine. Jesus says that if we remain in him, he will remain in us. And it is exciting to know that we are not alone. We don't have to be perfect on our own. We just have to stay connected to the vine. I chose to create in Galatians 5, which lists the fruit of the Spirit. Now, obviously, if we're connected to the Spirit or Jesus, the fruit of the Spirit is a part of who we are and how we operate, because it is his nature. I want to recreate this beautiful vine. I don't have the stamp set here in South Africa, but I do have these Faithful Digitals, so I have the images and I have everything available to me to do that. I'm using a Sakura jelly roll. The key with a white jelly roll pen is to make sure that it's a thick nib size. So if you didn't know, these specific jelly roll pens come in different sizes, and I promise you, if you're going to try the size 05, you're going to be disappointed. Even with the size 08, it's not as opaque because it's not as thick. But I'm using the size 10, and I've tested it on many acrylic and black pages and even art journaling, all of those things. The size 10 jelly roll works beautifully on top of pretty much everything: watercolor, acrylic, pencil, a lot of things. So I'm really just scribbling this vine out here. And what I've learned from another YouTuber is to carry on straight until the end of the leaf kind of thing, then double back on to where the leaf would start, and then finish the leaf going back to the top, if that makes any sense. So I am using some white. This is the Snow White DecoArt Americana acrylic paint, and I'm using the back of my paintbrush. I almost said toothbrush. The back of my paintbrush to just kind of dot out these little grapes or vine, if you want to then call it, the actual fruit of this vine, and seeing that I do have some spaces that I want to just fill up, and grabbing that gel pen again. I think I'm going to do some more dots, and I think I will do splatters as well. We'll get to that. So to do the splatters, I'll literally just take what's left over of this white acrylic. It's a very opaque acrylic, this Americana DecoArt, and so just a little bit of water with it, and you've got a very opaque white splatter on top of this. Getting back to what we're talking about, the fruit of the Spirit is love and joy and peace and patience and kindness and goodness and faithfulness and gentleness and self-control. And if you read before that, it also lists some of the things that's the fruit of the flesh, which is where we're at if we are without Jesus. Okay. So I'm taking the printable and I'm writing out the word abide in pencil. I'm also tracing one of the flowers, which I end up not using, but I don't have a pen that's exactly the right color to match this acrylic paint, this deep burgundy acrylic paint, and I don't want to take my watercolor brushes and ruin them with acrylic paint. So I'm literally just taking the back of this dotting tool, or one of the finer parts of this dotting tool, and I'm continuously dipping and then following the lines on this abide to then kind of have that out there. Very, very easy. You learn to use what you have in Bible journaling and in anything that you do. You've got to use what you have and make a success of that. So now, while we're connected to the Spirit, while we're remaining or abiding in Him, and the definition of remain or abide, they give so clearly in this devotion. It says to remain faithful to, or to act in accord with. And that's precisely what Galatians 5 is speaking about. That if we're in the flesh, our actions and our values and our the fruit that we display are not as nice. They are sexual immorality, impurity, idolatry, sorcery, all of those things that we think, you'd never even get in touch with. But now here's the thing: if you even not follow out, an order or an instruction from your employer, and you are rebellious, it's not the fruit of the Spirit, it is the fruit of the flesh. So we need to keep in touch with, remain in, act in accordance to the fruit of the Spirit who is in us while we're connected. So you've got to then start by being connected so that you can have the fruit that is evidence of connection. Now, a tree or a vine doesn't push out the fruit, you never see them stand there and grimace and, really try so hard to push out the fruit. If that tree or that vine is connected to the soil, to the food that it needs to get, it just has fruit. It's a natural thing. So likewise, naturally, if we're abiding in God, if we're abiding in Jesus, if we're remaining connected to the source, the fruit is natural. It's a natural evidence that comes out. And it's often this fruit that displays where you're connected to, or where you are abiding in, your flesh or the Spirit. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed this. I did very much. And I hope to see you again soon. Check out the other girls. Bye-bye.